the video for YouTube as well. Let's. No, not my team. 5F. So the plan is that I'll be hosting the show, and Giselle will be doing the technical analysis of each and every game. Unfortunately,
there's
the last
an
game.
echo, at least for me.
Still. No, you're you're listening me through Discord and stream. Mute the stream.
Okay.
Yeah.
I muted the stream. Yep. All right.
Yeah.
Fair.
So the last game should be played later tonight. But otherwise, yeah, Giselle has gone through your games and written down some key points. Anything to add? Or should we jump in?
No, not really. It's gonna be 1 hour per game, dice roll by dice roll, and shit like that. No, yeah. I'll talk you through the games. Did you want to discuss the teams before the games?
Yeah. Yeah, maybe
from Greenhorn, or do you want to talk through the teams first, or like what's it called, the pre-cap, or do you want me to go through the games?
Yeah. So for short recap, I take it that pretty much everybody in this division is an experienced coach with the ReBBL environment. Everybody had few games or few seasons behind them with other teams, and most of the teams arriving here went through either fewer or more Greenhorn games. For GMan Goblins, they started Greenhorn with 3 games. I'm recalling they lost pretty much every game. I'll check that.
Goblins can't lose.
No, they tied 1 game. But even so, with a 1 developed troll with a guard already, which is nice for the Goblins, but not quite as nice as what some of the other teams have going for them already. So Freya's guard.
That means a lot of inducements.
Yeah, that's upside for the Goblins at least. The Freya's guards, the Norse team, they had quite solid Greenhorn with 4 games, going with 1 victory and 3 ties, losing only 1 lineman in the process. Then the name that I'm going to butcher is Kafoix Crusaders, I guess.
Could you open Freya's guard?
Freya's guard, sure.
That Glow the Mad. He looks scary, but it was an utter disappointment this week.
Okay.
He didn't do shit.
Yeah. Let's go through the level ups and what happened during this week. After.
Fair enough. I just wanted to point out that he was the disappointment of the week.
Yeah, I didn't see how Kafoix Crusaders did this week, but their team certainly looks menacing. They cleared Greenhorn with 2 wins and 2 losses. But losing a blocker and a lineman in that process. So already down a bit, but also with great gains on the blitzers and agility blocker.
that looks like a team that should be most on the bounty board.
Yeah, that looks like the likely top of the board. Then the triple.
But I mean the bounty board. I don't know if
Well,
you can add bounties, because now when I think about it, I actually think I owe ReBBL some money from last season, because I'll settle that. But anyway, all the stat freaks, you should bounty.
Yeah. Is the bounty
Keep
board
ReBBL
still
going.
going? Is the bounty board still going?
I assume so. I don't know.
Yeah,
I haven't checked it. Yeah. Div 5 is a little bit different, so.
Yeah. And not too much of the like old wounds to be licked. Yeah. For the triple word score, also 4 games in the Greenhorn, with one win, 1 tie, and 2 losses. Sacking a nickel lineman in that process.
I just started a Wood Elf season team also this season. I was just wondering that no strip ball.
Yeah, there's no strip ball, but still a quite nice development for the 4 games.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, the linemen with the darts is making the team certainly a slippery one.
Yep.
But move on with the precap. Then we have the Red Bull Ball Busters. They actually only played 3 games in the Greenhorn, drawing 1 and losing 2, but no losses. So I'm guessing the team should be quite all right. They are one of the teams that will be playing later today. With the 2 blockers with a guard already, it's gonna be probably painful for the Goblin.
Yeah, but no mighty blow, so they'll be fine.
Maybe. Not like you need it for the Goblins. Then the one of the more scarier teams, at least based on the track record so far, the Satan's Angels. They played 4 games in the Greenhorn, 3 games, winning all, and also with quite nice development on the Blitzers already. I think they managed quite well during the first week as well, but later about that. Then the Lizardmen, Fast and Spurious. They had 4 games, 2 wins, 2 draws, but they already lost 1 source, so they've replaced 1 already. Still 2 blocks at this point of the season should be quite nice for the team. Then last, the Kraken Crusaders. They actually didn't play any Greenhorn games, so they are completely fresh. But yeah, that's it for the starting point of the season. Now on to the first game, Kraken Crusaders against Cafoix Crusaders.
All right. Give me a sec. I watched all the games and tried to make a short recap on what was happening. This is actually the first time I'm doing this sort of thing, so please give us feedback and we'll try to develop accordingly. But first is Saturnus Dark Elves versus Cortical Spreads, and the Dark Elves have induced a wizard. The Brets receive and start by caging up. Now, this is some kind of quite non-customary elf play with a lot of basing, and the Brets get a lot of hits off, but they don't result in anything. There was actually the Frenzy Blitzer got three tries to make a surf play, but the dice decided not to, and they were just knockdowns. Eventually, the Dark Elves, they get a 2D on the ball. There was, I think there was 4 or 5 or 6 go for it, but I think there was a misplay of some sort, because eventually when the blitz was supposed to happen, he just bases the ball, so seemed like a misplay, or he was thinking what he was doing. I don't know what happened, but eventually he just ended up basing the ball. The Brets managed to get the ball free, but end up with a based screen. The Dark Elves managed to capitalize on that on a 1D and get the carrier down, potato down. Brett get the potato 2D on that and hand off to the strength 4 blitzer, and he runs off, and it's looking good for the Bretts. Now a second, what I think is, I actually made, I don't know, this is just speculating, but I made a similar mistake, because when I was a new player, I didn't know the wizard ends turn. So the Dark Elves set up and bolt the ball carrier, but I think they didn't understand that the turn ends there. So now all the Brets have to do is, there's no armor break, so the strength 4 picks up the ball, runs it in for 1-0 for the Brets at halftime. For the second period, the Dark Elves draw first blood on the line of scrimmage. Eventually, the Dark Elves leave a also based cage, and actually here there was a, well, I don't know if it was ballsy or not, because the Brits had 2 bribes, but they start to turn off with a foul, and even the first bribe failed, but eventually the second one works out, and then with the base cage, they capitalize on that, get a hit on the carrier, but it's, what's it called, a runner, so he dumps it off, and yeah, to one of the cage corners, and then the next turn, the pretty much first thing the Dark Elves do is snake the dodge on the carrier, and that's pretty much it. I think there was a dead elf there somewhere in the end too, but and some desperation play from the elves that may leave another Dark Elf injured, but eventually the Birds run it in for 2-0, and that's game.
Yeah, I assume that's Coach Cool commenting on the Discord stream.
Oh, sorry,
saying,
yeah,
saying that it was indeed a misclick, as well as what happened with the wizard.
Oh yeah. I'll try to check it in, because I don't remember these by heart, so I need to take a look at my notes and read a bit off from there. But I'll try to look at chat after every game. And I'm glad that there was only 3 games, because as this is the first time, 3 games is just about good. All right, next up is Gaustos Woodies against Glordians Norse, and the Woodies receive, and the weather is very sunny. Woodies start Woody style, hanging back, and the Norsemen don't really pressure. There's halfway around the half, first a Norseman death by a dancer, and right after the Norse remove one of the line elves. Eventually the elf starts moving up, and this also seemed like a misplay because when the Norse started to react, there was what to me seemed a totally unnecessary dodge, and that Elf could have been, there was a Ulf basing him, so he could have been blocked away or something. It seemed like a misclick or just didn't notice, but they fail a 1 in 9, and all they have to do is for the Woodies to run it in, and it's 0-0 at halftime for the Woodies. Second half, the Norse advance slowly, and Elves are screening, and eventually one of the dancers makes a leap play for 1D on the ball, and it gets knocked down. Then there's all kinds of front and back. The ball is on the ground. Eventually, the Norse don't pick it up, but eventually the Woodies, they actually scatter the ball, and it lands in no tackle zones. And here, what I'm not sure Gaustas and I would have played similarly, but there was 4 2+s with a reroll to get the ball behind the screen with the blitzer, and Gaustas decided against it and leaves the ball on the ground. The Norse tried to pick it up and fail, but it scatters to one of the other Norsemen. And at this point, there are other things happening, but the gist of it is that Woodies get 9 dice on the ball without getting it down. And this results in the carrier being chain pushed free from all tackle zones, and 2 GFIs and a handoff without a reroll to equalize. If I was the Woodies, I would have maybe felt a little bit robbed, but that's how the game goes. Play a game of dice, you get dice. Yeah, 1-1. Woodies against Norse. Let's see.
I was checking the dice. Was that it for the second game?
Yep.
Yeah. I was checking the dice, and seems like the Yeti hasn't been really behaving during the game either.
No, he wasn't, but that doesn't, because every time it kind of mattered, he did. So it's
okay.
It wasn't. He was mostly moving, so 58% is decent. So there wasn't. It wasn't the Yeti's fault. When it mattered, he kind of was moving. So yeah, normal wild animal didn't affect the game in any way as such.
Yeah. Actually, what we missed from the last game, the star player points.
Yeah.
So there was quite a bit scored during at least the Norse Wood Elf game, despite just 1-1 score. So plenty of passing, I'm guessing.
Well, 1-1 and 2 armor 7 teams. I think 11 for Freya's Guard isn't that bad.
Yeah,
isn't that good, and not, to be honest, 14 for the Woodies. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Not much happened other than that.
Yeah. Let's just quickly.
You need to kill more of each other, at least injure.
Yeah. Keep it more action heavy. Well, the Crusaders match.
Not much happening here either.
Yeah. At least Kraken's doing some passing and scoring casualties, I guess, as well.
Yeah, and actually, the death and the casualty for the Dark Elves were both self-inflicted. So they actually
skulls.
The one was a failed GFI, and I don't remember, but If you roll skulls, then you get SPP, so it was something else. I don't remember what it was, but
Okay.
both were self-inflicted, so they actually only got the 2 TDs, and from that amount of blocks, I think they deserved a little bit more. All right,
Yeah.
the last game. Let's see. Yeah, here. Lasker's Lizards and Shaitan's Dons. Sweltering heat and Zons have induced a wizard. Zons receive, and as in all good games, there's a blitz. The ball lands deep, but the Lizards man the LOS, leaving the Zons in somewhat tricky situations with only 1Ds and actually having to care about the ball also. Lizards move into pressure, and the Zons try to manage. Eventually, the ball is quite a few turns in the back. Eventually, they try to move it up, and then the Lizard pressure pays off. But what at that point, I think we're at turn 7 or something. The ball is at the halfway line, and the Wizards have used all their rerolls. So their go-to play is to hand off to a Saurus. That doesn't work out, and it's 0-0 at halftime. So the Blitz makes the Zons' life hard, but there is no counter score, and also the Wizard is still unused. There is some damage. One skink is out, and the Zons are left with 8 players. But beginning second period, the sweltering heat evens that out, and we're at 8-8. There are 2 Saurus that are out for the sweltering heat. The kick is very short on the left side. I don't know, one square from the sideline. Lasker screens up, but fails the 1-in-9 pickup, and the Zons move to pressure right away. All the Saurus are on the other side of the field, and there is a little bit of front and back, and no one picks up the ball. Eventually, the Zons blitz a skink with sidestep, and ball is on the sideline, and he decides to sidestep on the ball. Magnet hands Zons, and the Zons have now have the ball. The Saurus, the Lizards try to move in to screen off, but now the Wizard is used, and the Zons move forward to. It is a potato, but there would be a what's it called, a Saurus dodge, so not very likely. And actually, the Lizards open with a 1-in-81, so 2 1-in-9s, and the Zons are pretty much safe. But this was the beginning, so here is eventually the Zons are forced to score on turn 14. And this leaves 2 turns for the Lizards to score, but there's actually only 1 skink left. So this means the Saurus need to be the scoring threats, and the skink picks up the ball. The Zons surround the Lizards, and that's pretty much game. The Saurus don't manage to score in 2 turns, and this is 1-0 to the Zons. And that's all games of the week because one has not been played yet. Now for the play of the week was in my opinion, none of these were extremely eventful games. Nothing extremely spectacular happened, but the Woodies 9 dice against the ball without no knockdown is my pick for the game of the week, play of the week.
Sure. Still managed to tie the game anyway.
Yeah, I get you, Gaustos. Yes. When I was watching it, it was I would have played some of those things a little bit differently, but those two catcher 2 dice. So it was well played, but yeah, sometimes the rolls dice that just doesn't favor you.
So now then, with the teams as they are, I guess we don't really need to check that much into the Goblin and the Chaos Dwarf teams as they are, as they came from the Greenhorn. But with the development of the teams, you were mentioning something about the Glor the Mad of the Nose.
Glor the Mad. So he got a lot of hits off. He was piling on every time, and those hits he was actually getting his opponents down to and piling on every time. And I think somewhere halfway around the second period, he got 1 knockout, but he was actually totally useless in that game. He looked scary.
Yeah, sounds about right. Yeah. Someone mentioned the block on the Yeti. Yeah, that I missed. That's actually really, really key. Now just need the mighty blow, and that's a terrible beast. A cost dwarf killer.
Oh yeah, you get chorfs. Yeah, kill them all. Because actually why we picked this division is you have from what was available at the time, you had the most interesting division of teams, and that's pretty much everything is with chores. But yeah, 7 in 8 is quite good.
Yeah. Freya's card actually has quite nice fan factor as well, going at 5 already. So that's some extra team value going for them. 2 rerolls and a bank of 120. I wonder if is the next reroll
Probably the next reroll. I would take the next reroll, but might go for the runner. Second runner.
Yeah, or a few linemen to fill the ranks.
Nah, you don't want linemen. The game fills them up.
Yeah. Then on the Bretonian team, there was some development during the games, if I remember correctly.
I don't know, but this is the most obnoxious team.
Yeah. This is like the
5 level ups and 3 of them are stats.
Yeah. That's also, I think that shows on the score during this week.
Yeah. To be fair, I think it wasn't the stats that decided that game. It was very well played from the Brits.
So you're actually giving some credit to the coach.
Absolutely. And to be fair, Rupert Lesak, he was like a tree for the strength 4. he was like a tree for Wood Elves. So he was just collecting elves and asking to be hit, and he took them like a man and bound a lot of players to him. So he did his job.
Yeah. The Lesak brothers, it seems.
Yep.
Then the Wood Elves. Yeah, as I mentioned already, some nice development. There was actually... Was there any new skills from the game against Norse? There's actually 2 on the Barry Zoom and Bob Sap. So normal rolls.
Lineman. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think there was in chat that the question will get strip ball next, but that means he will roll stats or at least doubles.
Yeah. So War Dancer will get the Mighty Blow next.
Yeah, I was hoping to get doubles on my War Dancer to cull some flings, but that didn't happen.
Yeah.
My next game.
No sponsors or enchantments yet.
Oh, come on. Absolutely sponsors.
Then
Who's going to
this
pay for your team's build?
Satan's Angels. Yeah, this is the team I'm actually betting to finish the season at the top of the board. The strong showing in the Greenhorn and the nice development so far.
Yeah, they did really well. Yep.
Yeah, putting on my money on them.
Managing all that, managing the blitz against the lizards, and it was a struggle, but the lizards didn't score, and then scoring on their drive using the wizard. Well, yeah, so it was well played.
Yeah, also well rolled for the 2 doubles and the movement.
Yeah, and this is coming from a player who can't play, but well played.
Yeah, neither of us. Then the lizards. There was no development, but at least no permanent injuries either, so the team gets built back up. They did score some casualties, but not on the fresh ones or the ones without any skills yet.
Yep.
And same situation, no sponsors.
And having no skills cost lizards most of their rerolls in the last game.
Yeah. I checked. They basically got no balls. And then Dark Elves. I don't think they didn't get any. This was their first game with no Greenhorn games to jump.
There was one dead lineman.
Oh, true. Yeah.
Yeah, and the other one was badly hurt.
Yeah, Elves with 2 rerolls, quite solid. Solid starting there to go on from. So currently, not that board, the leaderboard. Basically, the 2 scary teams at the top. Then there's the middle ground with draws. But nothing lost for the Dark Elves and the Lizards. Yet.
And goblins and dwarves today, right?
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
So next week's games.
I hope
Any?
the chainsaw works.
Yeah, yeah. For the next week's games, there's Dark Elves against Lizards. Wanna take
I think we need
bets?
to do, Llama. We need to do some kind of what do you call predictions?
Yeah, predictions. Yeah. So which one are you going for?
If
You watch them play.
I watched them play. So I have to say, if the Dark Elves plays as heavily against the Lizards as they did against the Saurus, the armor will eventually break more, and I'm going for the Lizards.
Okay. Actually, the chat is asking for a spreadsheet, so I guess we'll do what we discussed.
Hey, actually, this
Yeah.
is we had a similar thing. This is we're now improvising, but I actually
Yeah.
think that better than to count the actual scores, we just count. We will participate. Uh, uh, we'll do so that everyone everyone who wins the round gets a point. So if you miss one round, it isn't as bad as if you just count all the scores together. So if you win a round, you get a point. Shared wins, both get a point, and then who has most points? So most correctly predicted rounds wins.
So you mean
Instead
like
of game,
for all the four
game by
games?
game. Yeah. Oh, 4 games. If I
That's
get most correctly this round, I get 1
okay.
point.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
And
You mean so
next,
whoever gets most of the games correct
for
gets 1 point.
most of the round, who wins most rounds wins.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But
That's my suggestion.
for one week,
Well,
everybody
For 1 week. Yeah.
predicts all games, and the one that
Yeah.
gets most of the games correct gets a point. Yeah.
Yeah. And you'd make the spreadsheet.
Sure. That's fine.
And if anyone watches the VOD, just submit your predictions to Llama,
Yeah.
and he'll take them up. So any games already played will not be counted, but other than that, please do. And you can cast your votes or predictions
Let's
anytime in chat. But we'll be discussing these, and the chat can just at any point. There isn't so much chat that we can
yeah.
pick them up at the end, but just put your predictions in chat.
Yeah. You said you're going for the Lizards
Yes, I'm going for
for the
Lizards.
first game. I actually have a soft spot for the Elves, so I'll go against you.
You have a
Rooting for
quite
the
nice painted
Dark
set of
Elves.
them.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
why. Now then,
Fair enough.
Lex going for the Lizards as well. Yeah,
Alex, please, it would be easier to pick them up if you just put
no,
all the
that's fine. That's
predictions
fine.
in
We don't.
one post. Yeah.
No.
It's now easy, but if there's a little bit more chat, it's hard to pick them up one by one.
Sure.
Yeah, so please put them up in one post, so it's easy to pick up.
Yeah.
Next,
No worries.
Shaitan's Angels and
Against
Basilicos.
against the goblins. I just said the Angels are my pick for the top of the season, but I also hope that the goblins will cause some disruption. So I'll be betting for the goblins.
Yeah, here this game is heart against brain, and I think the goblins will win some games, but not these ones. This goes to the Dons.
Yeah. Saitano betting, I guess, for himself.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's how you lose it. Then for the Dwarves against Norse. Again, brain against heart.
Hey, you know what? Yeah, we need to actually do it. You know, what's turn by turn. So first, if you pick one game first, then I pick the next one first. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
I'll pick the next one first.
No, you go ahead. I picked goblins.
All right. Yeah. But here, I hate Dwarves, even if I played them and made them to challengers. So Norse all the way. But everyone hates Dwarves.
Yeah, I'll go against the Dwarves as well.
They are good though.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Chat is
Here
saying
I go
one
with the
for
heart.
the Dwarves. And
Yeah.
Saitano betting draw.
All right.
Then on the last spot Wood Elves against the Bretonian.
This is gonna be. I just started playing Wood Elves, so the heart is there, but
With all the
yeah, I'm
dogs on
going
the
for a
board.
draw here. No, but I mean Bretonians are great too. They just won GMan one, so it's a tie.
You're going for the tie.
Yes.
I'm actually yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
Damage on the dancers. I actually yeah think the Woodies will run away with the ball to score 2-1 winning touchdown at the end of the game. So that would be, you said draw. I'll go for the Woodies. Woodies and draw. So yeah, that's the predictions for the first games. And as Giselle said, if somebody is watching this later, you can reach me through Discord or YouTube comments and make your predictions, but only for the games that haven't been played by the time you make the comment.
Yep.
I guess that's it for now.
Yep.
Yeah, that would be nice, Lex.
Yeah, please.
For the predictions channel.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. I had one of those. It was nice. Saves us a little bit of trouble. Yeah. As I will be trying to review, I'm 42 and I have a kid and all that, so I'm sometimes pressed for time. So if you leave your games like this, Chorf and well, this was impossible. But if you want me to review the games, I'm still not promising anything. I'll do my best to find the time and go through the games, and if they are played early enough, and be glad to comment on them. Please kill more of your opponents, and in the 5F chat, we are glad to take any feedback that you might have, or well, here during the stream, or it actually, if you want to sit on it and give it in 5F chat, please do, because this is actually the first time. Llama has a Twitch channel, so he's very experienced and done this before, but this is the first time I'm speaking anything on the internet, so please give feedback. So I'll try to improve the my content to your liking. So thanks, guys.
Yeah. Thank you for the first 5F recap. We'll be back with similar or better content next week.
Cheers.
Cheers. Good night.